Ahoy, shipmates! We are back in the port of Southampton on a lovely sunny morning in April. Before us is the Ada Prima, or Ada, or Asda, as some people have called it. The flagship of the Ada cruise ship line. Now I realised that this is not a new ship, and I've never actually droned this ship before. So I thought I'd pop down on this lovely morning and do a spot of droning. It's been a lovely weekend, a lovely sunny Easter bank holiday weekend. I was out in Poole Harbour and spotted this yacht. Well, it didn't look like this quite when I first spotted it. We decided we'd try and help and pull them free, but unfortunately the tide beat us to it and she was high and dry. Chap on board was sailing around the UK after having sailed around the world. Said it was no problem at all. He'll just hold his beer at a different angle. Now, slightly usually, this is an arrival for a cruise ship, but she's going to arrive backwards. So we'll get the view we see when they depart, but with the morning sun behind them, if that makes sense. Oh, should lend to a interesting set of photos, I hope. Unfortunately, it's a little bit late, really. She could have done with arriving just a touch earlier, and it would have been a slightly more delightful sky. Built in 2016 by the Mitsubishi Shipping Company in Nagasaki, Japan. Entered service April 25 of 2016. It's making her 6 years old. Almost to the day. 125,000 gross tons. Length of 300 metres. And a beam of 37.6. Powered by 3 cats. Doesn't seem like a lot, does it? Apparently that's enough. Propulsion is by Azipods. Now, Azipods are these fun propellers on pods underneath the stern of the ship, where we're looking now. It's like the wheels on a supermarket trolley, they just spin round and round. Adds to massive manoeuvrability, very popular feature on cruise ships compared to a larger, say, container ships. I think the standard sort of shaft drive is a more efficient propulsion system, but the flexibility of the Azipod system benefits cruise ships and aids them in manoeuvring, and they very rarely need tugs. Top speed, 22 knots, or 41 kilometres an hour for all you continental types. Total capacity of 3,300 passengers, and a crew of 900. Alright, I sped that bit up, so really she wouldn't have spun around that fast. I hope that was obvious to you all. I know the Azipod thrusters do give you extra maneuverability, but not quite that. We're closing in now for what I would think is going to be the first photograph of the day. We'll just wait to get a little closer. Going to try and line up with Britannia. It's just over on the port side there. She's in the ocean terminal at the moment. You can just see the flag emblazoned on Britannia's bow. I took 3 or 4. I think I got the timing just right. Managed to get the sky looking slightly more dramatic because it was a bit blown out on the video. I think that's pretty good. Like I say, it's unusual because normally I would take these photographs of a ship departing at night time and therefore the sun's behind. So this is unusual to have a front lit view of a cruise ship at this time of day. That's very good, isn't it? Yeah, that's a good balance of colours, that is. Good to see Britannia in the background. I like the addition of an extra cruise ship. One of the features of the propulsion system, the MAK 12V diesel engines. Is there also dual fuel LNG and heavy oil? Gives a total of 53,000 horsepower to the stern. The engine has computer controlled fuel injection to increase fuel economy. And just see one of the red funnel fairies there at the top of the screen. She had to wait until Ada Prima had finished and completed her turn before she could come past. Excellent location for a bit of ship spotting. If you happen to be on the red funnel, you've got a great view that morning. Time for another photo. That's not too bad. Probably a little close here, I feel. I'm slightly confused with the ship coming towards me, even though it's facing backwards. Caught me off guard slightly. But nonetheless, that's not too bad. Could have done with a bit more colour, I think. A little bit bright with that sun in the morning and a very flat light. And a slight bit of cloud cover. But I think we've done reasonably well there. Interesting feature on the Ada Prima, which I've not heard of on a cruise ship before. I have heard of this system. Is the Mitsubishi Heavy Industries proprietary air lubrication system, or Mitsubishi Air Lubrication System, MALS for short. It's a system which releases small air bubbles to cover the bottom of the vessel, therefore reducing the friction between the hull and the surrounding water. This is predicted to reduce CO2 emissions and fuel consumption by more than 7%. Perhaps other cruise ships have this, I just haven't heard of it before. That's pretty interesting to me. There are 18 passenger decks in total, 15 dining options, an indoor and outdoor pool, and I think just by the Ada sign there you can see a tube which I believe is part of the pool area, and there's a bit of a flue that takes you outside the ship. That could be quite thrilling, couldn't it? That's probably part of the beach club pool area, one would imagine. Let's go for another photo. No, I think that's probably more what people had in mind. The classic design of the Ada Cruise Line. Those lips and eyes. It's a very distinguishing feature of these cruise ships. It certainly brightens up I wouldn't say a dull day here in the Port of Southampton, but a very bright day. A splash of colour looks rather fetching. Not a bad photo, that one. Not bad, not bad. There's also a transparent UV membrane over the dome area at the top there. I'll have a look at that in just a second. This is a very unusual thing for me to do, follow a cruise ship in backwards. I've seen them on the cameras before do this, but I've never actually been here in person. Oh, unfortunately, due to the length of time that Ada Prima spent spinning around up at the dockhead, I don't have a lot of battery power left, so time for me to head back to dry land, shipmates. Hope you've enjoyed this little film of a ship that we have seen before. If you do enjoy this content, do think about subscribing. I have heard from a number of subscribers that they have become unsubscribed. This is nothing to do with me. Seems to be a problem with YouTube. Seems to be affecting quite a few channels. If you enjoy my photographs, they're also on Instagram. Have a look for Solent Ships UK. Right, until next time, shipmates.